All right, welcome to session 11 of the 30-day at-home handstand challenge. This is gonna be a short and sweet one. I got caught up with some stuff around the house and I wasn't able to release the video on Friday, so I'm gonna give it to you guys a day late on Saturday. We're gonna go over a couple things today that are a little bit easier, don't require quite as much balance. We've been working hard on the strength and the press. What we wanna try today is we're gonna work on some technical stuff that's gonna help the understanding of how to press to a handstand, and then a little bit of stuff that we can do in the handstand to help improve the shoulder position. So let's jump into it. So exercise number one, we're going on the wall, and this is one that you guys can do as part of your warm-up. So one of the most important things that we want to achieve, that we want to practice doing and practice incorporating when balancing on the hands, is be able to maintain the shoulder elevation and flexion of the shoulders. Now, there are certain exercises that you can do in the handstand that are going to enforce proper technique. So early on, we wanted to work on a lot of stuff with the dowel to open up the position and to build the basic strength in the position. But now that we have that understanding and that we have the mobility in the shoulders, we want to incorporate technical things in our handstand that are going to enforce proper mechanics. So going up against the wall, we're gonna simply slide the feet down into a tuck position and then slide back out to the handstand. So we walk up, we're gonna walk in relatively close, but we wanna give enough space that our legs can move in between the wall and the body. So I'm gonna set those shoulders first, tall and open, and then I'm gonna bring my knees. I'm thinking about bringing the knees into the chest and then coming back up. The goal here is to not let the shoulders lean forwards as we bring the legs down. We want to keep those shoulders open. We don't want to stick the bum out. We want to bring the knees straight down into the chest and then sliding back up. If you guys are doing this exercise correctly, you're going to feel the mid part of your back working really hard to maintain that open shoulder position. Play around with that one. Try to aim for about 5 repetitions, take it to the floor, kick up, try some balance work after, and see if holding that position, or see if when you're in the handstand after you've practiced it against the wall, you're able to maintain a more stable position in the shoulders. Once you master it against the wall, of course, we can take this one down to the floor. 2 options is to do the slides. The repetition is option number 1, or you can simply slide down into the position and hold a static. Trying to build up to something like a 30-second static against the wall or a 30-second freestanding tuck on the floor are really good places to begin on building that strength to maintain open shoulders and fully flexed shoulders for the press to handstand, and of course for harder work like the one-arm handstand. So play around with that one. Play around with the balance. You should have that consistent balance practice that you guys are doing now before the press. And then we're going to talk about the second thing, which is going to be a negative press to handstand. Okay, so what we're looking at for the press today, if you find yourself in the position where you're working on the strength work, you're working on those partial presses on the floor, off the wall, you're working on the bottom and you're working on the top, what we want to do is we want to get a way or a method where we can work through the entire range of motion of a press, but maybe you might not quite have the strength there yet. So what we want to do if we ever find ourselves in that circumstance, if we can't do the concentric portion, is to do the eccentric portion. So rather than starting on the floor and pressing up to the handstand, we already know we have a controlled handstand by this point. So we're going to go into our handstand shape, and we're simply gonna do the opposite. We're gonna open the legs, and we're gonna slowly circle the feet all the way down and finish with them nice and close to where we started. If the balance portion of that is tricky and you can't quite get that on the floor yet, do it against the wall. Go into the wall, do the handstand, feel your feet together, open up into the biggest split you can, go through the middle split position, let the feet come through the straddle and all the way down to the floor. Make sure you're close. If you start to go too far away, we might start to break the shoulder angle, or we might start to change the position at the hips. We want to keep that press nice and compact, everything nice and close. So the closer you practice it to the wall, the better you're going to be at executing this position. So if you can't quite get the straddle press yet, let's do it backwards. Let's start from the handstand and let's move those feet down and together at the bottom. And that's it, short and sweet today, guys. We're gonna play with those tuck slides or the static tuck position against the wall to set the position of the shoulders, to work on that strength that we need for the press and to be able to maintain that nice open shoulder position in the handstand. And then we're gonna play with some negatives. We're gonna kick up to that handstand. We're gonna focus on circling those feet around and down. That's what you guys gotta keep in mind. Really think about making a big circle with your feet as they come down in the press. If you're having troubles balancing on the floor, take it to the wall, keep those hands nice and close and focus on circling those feet through. If you're finding the legs are a little bit tight in between the sets, stretch out the pancakes, stretch out the middle splits, open up those legs as much as you can. It's gonna make that press to handstand much easier. But that's all for today, guys. Tag me in your work on Instagram. As always, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell so you know when the videos come out, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Peace.